Hi, everyone, and welcome. This is Krishna Priya. This is the Human Colony Hucolo webinar. It is Saturday, the 12th of August, 2023, and we have with us our very beautiful, special, wonderful channel, Dim Charles. Hi, Dim.
Hi, how are you?
Good. And you have a full room. How many people do you have in?
I think 10.
Well, can you name them? Who all do you
I have Angie and Angel and
James, Will, Blair,
Mario,
Margie,
Okay.
Donna,
Marissa,
Marissa, and Safira.
Great.
Ken.
Didn't hear anything you were saying.
She was 11.
Oh, you didn't hear Donna or
That's all right.
Marisa or Mario or Blair, or Safira, Will, James, Angie, and Angel.
Perfect. That sounds great. Okay. And
Yeah,
then in
quite
our
a few.
room, we have Yana with you, Bola, Kat, Christine, Jonathan, Ryan, Celeste, Wendy, and more people coming in, myself. So why don't we start with some announcements and then we'll go into blessings and then requests.
Okay.
Hi, Angie.
Hi,
Just a minute.
we have our gathering scheduled for next year, August 8th through August 12th, 2024. And it is $6.95 a person, and it's a oneness, a gathering, something that we've never done anything like this before. It's again $6.95 a person. I am offering a payment plan because it's so far in advance. Excuse me. Everything is all scheduled, and I can't wait to meet everybody. I'm going to be meeting some new people and seeing some old friends.
Yes.
What else do I say?
There may be special guests, but we're not sure yet about that yet. But we know that a special guest is right here. Krishna Priya is coming, so we welcome that very, very much.
You know, there used to be this old musician. He used to say, he was a really old guy, and he said, I've twirled all around the world. And he goes, I made a lot of friends, but for those I haven't met, hello. That was always so nice when he said that.
Yes,
Yeah.
very
That's how I
nice.
feel with all of y'all, you know.
I forgot to say, I forgot to say, if you're interested, classes at hucolo.org. And there's also on the website, there's a link right to the registration form. And also on our main Facebook page, there's a link on there as well.
Great.
Okay. Lots of
Perfect.
things.
Yes, nice. Okay, so we'll start with some blessings and then we'll go in, or should we do requests first or blessings?
Requests.
Okay, so let me tell you the requests that I have written down, and then there might be some more. The first was Alma Talk, who we haven't talked to in a long time. Elijah, someone for the future, from a future timeline, like 50 years in the future, that is dealing with new technologies for weather and how they're handling the climate, all of these things. The Council of Elders from Wendy, Nostradamus, the Aldorians, ancient Egyptian deity Ra, okay, and King David. Let's see, Ganesh, maybe. And is there any more requests in your room, or any requests you guys have?
Any other requests in this room?
Nikola Tesla.
Nikola Tesla.
Okay, Nikola Tesla.
Or Archangel Michael.
Archangel Michael. All right. Anyone else?
Anybody else? Okay.
Okay. All right. So we'll do some blessings. We got a bunch of blessings today, which is always blessing. So, but we're going to limit the blessings to like 1 minute. Tell your guides to keep it short and sweet, and then she'll interpret. We'll start in this room. We'll go Yana, Bola, Susan. Oh, Susan isn't here. Yana, Bola, Wendy, Angie, and then Will. So Yana, we'll start with you. Okay.
Ahoinika hataresto to urtenekeata nakata iturt ahante ko urta mashtanakate tur urtenekeata tana hart heneko urta nishtanakata ne to turta.
that God, the Father, fill you with the energy you need to move forward, to bring forth the things that He has designed just for you, to help you become the person with the greatest excitement for Him. He is with you and He wants you to be guided.
This is the sixth dimensional Aldorians from the planet Aldor who are here to help us create a new earth. Kintiri makaturu sukuru matara karaseteresi. Kintiri musuturu shuturu makatara. Kintiri mutukuru kuru shetere mukuru taramakara shetere kresiri. Kru suturu mushuru krusuru. Kratiri matara suru kru teresiri. Kutiri suru masatarasi.
We send you peace and love, for your planet needs peace and love more than anything else in the world. You have been beaten down, you have struggled, and your karma is very gray. So we hope to lift you up, bring you out of this, and bring you into a place of understanding, of goodness and kindness. But first there must be a disaster, so that many of you understand what right and wrong is, good and bad, negative and positive.
Shkun nirem yetkaduya no tu no pohuena ma ka tu tinia ma papupuini kamai en you no mamai tahia no mo ya.
The countenance of the universe is something that not anybody knows of, but can feel it from many different places out here. Earth is a place that we depend on to keep the countenance good, because if something were to happen to this civilization, many other civilizations would struggle. So we are here to help as much as possible.
Miatatuch, atatuat, Mawodost, Jatanajja, Utistam Yatich, or Samtantia, Tutum Taaritsiniat Otonucha.
There is confusion on your world, and we want to come and settle that. Peace and love is what your world needs more than anything. It is that you are blind to what you are able to do, and you see only that which you will hold you back. So dispense with the fear, the anxiety, the worry, for it does no good. And cling to the love, kindness, and peace, for it is the savior of your planet.
Uruti hariataria, oto uhushahera, arkanahasi artkacha arha, arhunor hoko urhashisa, ayaka anata rahetara. Arhe kachata tikaskarata urul, shi shaya akatar, saya katkar atitu urhutara. Shaya sakahasaya, nora osha hakasayara. Asa Arshihianata.
We have knowledge of the understanding of human beings and know how much you can do. You are definitely have been changed by all the things around you, but we see that you will rise up with kindness and goodness to help your world. We will be with you to know and give you power. There are others out here that want to give those who understand the power to move forward and break through this darkness that surrounds this planet. But it is time for a reckoning, and that will come shortly.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, perfect. So just so you know, in the YouTube chat, Tanita asks if any hybrid children would come through to talk about what they're learning, or maybe there's a being that could address that question as well. Okay.
Could you give me the list one more time?
Yes. Okay, and if I forget something, let me know. But we have Amatak, Elijah, someone for the future, talking about the weather technologies, the Council of Elders, Nostradamus, the Aldorians, and ancient Egypt, the ancient Egyptian deity Ra, and I don't know in what incarnation form of Ra, King David, for just the energy of King David, Ganesh, and Archangel Michael, Mother Gaia. Oh, we want to send energy to Mother Gaia. Okay. And then the hybrid children. Did I miss anybody?
Tesla,
Nikola Tesla,
Nikola Tesla. Thank you.
Archangel.
Archangel Michael.
I said that. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
very well. There's a lot of requests today.
Yeah. And just welcome to Lily Pad and Stephanie's iPhone who showed up in the
Oh,
room.
very good.
Yeah.
Excellent. I will see who comes. I know
Okay.
Elijah's coming today. I don't know what he's gonna say, but he always usually comes.
First. Okay, great.
Greetings, my children. Some of you are seeing the light of the future and not seeing what is really there. You just know that there is a good and kind way of being in the future, but you must deal with the present at this time. You must look around and know that you are on the right path, that you are reaching out as far as you can to help others. You must know that your heart and soul are attached to one another always. We have talked about this before. Everything is connected in the universe. There is no disconnects here, and there never will be with God, because that is the way he created this system. It is that you are the chosen. Some of you will be rising up to do greater things, to be of greater help to the future. But some of you don't even know that, because you're not even looking for a mission, or not even knowing that a mission exists for you. But others of you are well aware of your missions and are pushing forward. This is what God wants. He wants a pushing forward of those that already know what they want, and he wants an awakening of those that need to know that they have importance in the future with God, with the world, with peace, and with history. It is that history is being made right now with all of us. This time is a watershed period for many different things, and there will be changes galore. The weather will change. It will be even more hostile. Unfortunately, that is because mankind made it that way. But it is also because Mother Earth is also changing. It is proven that Mother Earth changes constantly. This is one of her changes. She is settling in to her mid-years. And so when you change, she is just like a human. You have your youth and your adolescence and your adulthood. And now she's in that middle age period where things are changing again with her. And so this is a time we must be aware of Mother Earth and her changes, and of mankind and his changes. There are many things happening all at once between the two of them, and this will cause a great deal of suffering and difficulty. But it is not that God wants anyone to suffer, but he wants everyone to see the light and move through that, move past it easily, so that you don't have to deal with the darkness as much. Oh, of course you will have to, but it will not be a problem if you keep your eyes on the light, if you keep your eyes on God, if you keep your eyes on the Creator. He will guide you through more easily. If you keep your mind on the darkness, it will lead you into darker things. It will lead you into a greater, deeper darkness. But if you keep your eyes on the light, of course, that darkness will dissipate because the light is pushing through. So use the light to get through your darkness, and it will always happen, because what happens when the sun comes out, the darkness is gone. I know there are other ways for darkness to be, I am not naive about that. But the thing is, positivity is greater than negativity. But sometimes negativity has to win the war to show you what positivity really is, really can be. But you will be ones that will move through the positivity without seeing a great deal of negativity because you are able to dissipate it. Each human, each individual is able to get rid of darkness in their own way and find that way and let it shine through you that you can get rid of your darkness. Let it go, the things that do not help you. Let it go, the things that do not support you. Let it go, the things that you believe are not really you. You must be yourself and fully yourself. You must know who you are. You must stand up for who you are. You must be an example. There is no question what you must do. Do not question it, just move forward. It is not that you have to change your entire life to do God's will. It's not that way. He will bring opportunities to you. He will show you what to do. If you are on the right path, you have nothing to worry about because he will show you the path. Of course, there's all kinds of third dimensional problems, but in the spirit, you should be well. In the spirit, you should be well. Thank you for listening. Greetings. I am Almatok.
Welcome, Almatak. Very long time. You're very welcome to be here. Thank you.
Many of you have supported me coming. You
Yes.
thought of me and were very positive. Thank you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to have you here. And I believe Safira has the first question with you.
Thank you, Krista Priya. Hello, Amatak.
Greetings.
I have missed you.
Thank you.
It's been a long time.
Yes.
So I have two questions. I may limit it to one, considering the amount of people, but my first question is this. I have always been confused between what is the soul, what is the spirit. For example, I understand the soul is the larger part of us that is not all the way in us, but we are part of it. But then there's the spirit. Now my spirit goes to the fourth dimension, supposedly, and it comes back. When I die, is it the spirit that moves into the spirit world? Like, can you explain what the spirit is, please?
All
as
right.
opposed to the soul. Thank you.
The soul and the spirit work separately and together. The soul is that which God has created within you. It is within you.
Mhm.
The soul is within you and it has all the elements of God. God gave you every element of himself in the soul. Now, you do not use all the elements of God in your soul. You use the ones that you want to use because you have free will. And also you have lessons to learn along the ways. And there's certain things about you in the soul that are programmed in there so that you can learn some lessons as you live this life. Now, the lessons may change as you live because you might encounter different things than you expected to encounter in this life. And so the soul is there to guide you and direct you, and you may have to use other parts of the soul. Now, the spirit is that which helps you to be, well, the soul that keeps you alive, but the spirit is part of that which is the belief systems, what you are feeling in the spirit, the emotional, the energetic part of the being that is the energy that is spirit. Do you understand that? And the spirit can leave the body and not kill it because the soul is still there to bring forth the life. But the spirit can travel. The spirit can go here and there and the spirit can stay in some places. The soul moves forward. Those people that are stuck as ghosts in between areas, do they have a soul, or did the soul pass forward? No, they are stuck with what they have, and the spirit becomes the body, because they are no longer physical. But the soul is still there until they move into the light. And so it is that many of you have been able to astral travel, do things outside the body, communicate with higher spirits and higher understandings. But sometimes your creativeness or your soul area needs help and needs moving forward, because sometimes there are things in the soul, in the past, in your life, that need to be cleansed out, that need to be moved away from the soul area. The spirit doesn't cling on to that kind of negativity, but the soul, when you bring in negativity, will try to get rid of it, and that is a struggle with the soul. So does this make sense to you?
Yes, it does. I would have many follow-up questions, but for now, thank you. My second question, if I may, is about numerology. So I have, because I know that you've talked with this channel about future numerology, intergalactic numerology. So I have studied numerology. I have seen that people's personalities, their career paths, many things about them can be known from their numerology, and it holds them in its direction, whether they are aware of it or not. I've seen that.
This is correct.
So how is your numerology different? What would it, for example, I'm a 3. My name and my birth date is 3. So what I know about it from this numerology on Earth, how would it be so much more in depth in your world?
Well, because you're only getting your numerology from one place, one set of sky encounters. Whenever you are born, you are encountering the world for the first time, and the universe is encountering you for the first time in that birth, correct? And so the universe has a great deal more to say to you than just the stars that you can see when you're born. The universe has many star systems, beings, and understandings that can be enhanced by knowing a more galactic numerology. A more galactic numerology would be more general in some ways, because it would be very much more directed, if you know what I'm saying. Like number 1, you go individuality and all, and number 1 can be very good, or it can be very weak as well. So the number 1 in universal numerology is that, yes, it is a great deal of power for the individual, but it's also about new beginnings. It's also about change. Number 1 is about how things are coming through in a way that is unified. And so that can mean a change as well, because when you unify, you change. When you come together and align yourself in a oneness sort of way, you change. Your thought process changes, your understanding changes. And so number 1 to us is about the changing from that weakness to the strength.
I have a question for you. Would you be willing to do a teaching through Jim, through our group, about numerology, the way you know it? And then we can also work on our own numerology at the time. Figure out
Yes,
the
well,
differences.
I can do that if that is something that they want. I do not know that that is something you want. It is only it is the universal view.
I do know that numerology can tell you a lot about yourself and other people. So
Yeah,
if we ask, and if there is a yes, would you be willing to do that?
yes, I would.
Awesome, because I'd like to know how I can get my hands on what you have in your experience about it.
Very well.
Thank you.
Remember, there's billions and trillions of stars in this universe, and they all have an effect on you. All of them.
Yeah.
Every single one of them. Not just the stars that you see when you were born. Not just the little piece of sky that you can actually recognize, but far beyond that, There is powers greater than that take in who you are
Mhm.
and define you in even more
Mhm.
intricate ways.
Exactly. Thank you, Amatok.
You're welcome.
Was there any questions in the room for Amatak in your room?
Any
Yeah.
yes, there's another one.
I just have a follow-up to what Zafira asked, and that is, she asks, what's the difference between the soul and the spirit? What about the spirit and astral travel? Is there difference or is it the same thing?
Spirit and astral travel are the same thing, because the spirit is what does the astral traveling. It goes into a place. The spirit knows of a place that doesn't exist. It is a place that is unique to the universe. No one has an algorithm for it. No one has a thought process that will define it completely. And nobody knows the energy that it really works with. But the astral area is a place where you can travel and see many things that exist in the astral that also exist in the physical. And so in the astral, you can work with seeing all that is there, but it not being truly physical to you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, that was all the questions we had, Amatak, for you.
Very
I
well.
do thank you for being here, though. It's a pleasure to have you.
It is a pleasure to be here. There is no more questions. Very well. We are Ra.
Welcome. Welcome, Ra.
I must tell you that many of you understand me as a community, as a collective. I do appear as an individual at times as well, because that is the way that you can relate to me better. But as I am here today, I am with my collective, or I am my collective. So it is that we are going to talk in this way today. Many of you are advanced and understand the oneness, the law of oneness, the meaning of it, how intellectualized it was, and how many different points of understanding there can be in the law of one. But there is also simplicity in the law of one. The law of one is bringing all together, bringing things into a certain perspective so that you can see things in a generalized way that work together with everyone. Now, you are always going to be an individual. You are always going to have your own personality, but there will be a time of community where you share your thoughts, where you don't have to speak, but your mind reaches out, and it will continue to reach out to all those that are there until you are able to understand everything that's being said all at once. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, very much.
And so as you are able to perceive that kind of understanding with many thoughts coming at you at once, but still being able to process it in a certain way, you will understand what a collective is and how beautiful it can be. The heart is in the middle of the collective, and the words and the reasonings and thought processes that come forward will start to unite and become one thought, or become a synthesis of all the different thoughts that were being made at that time. And then that is when we tell you what we are thinking.
Perfect. Ryan has a question for you, if I can.
Yes,
Okay.
greetings. How are you, Ra?
Greetings. I am well.
Yes, great. So I have a question about something supernatural happening in my home. I've seen scratches on my floors and my furniture. Nothing on me though, however, and I also got a weird uncomfortable feeling I'm being watched sometimes. He doesn't scratch me though, but after much investigation, I found out this being is a canine Archon hybrid, and I believe this to be the son of Loki, Fenrir. So my first question is, why is this being watching me? Do we have a past life connection? And will him and his scratching go away?
Yes, you have a past life connection with a lot of very negative things, and
I'm sure.
these negative things follow you into your futures, into your next lives, and it's time for you to just let them all go. Even these scratches on the floor, they're not scratching you, so they're only trying to give you a warning that they want to get in, and if you show them any kind of way for them to get in, they will. But I am pleased to say that you are working diligently to get rid of all the negativity that is around you and have succeeded to some extent in getting rid of that.
Yes, I'm becoming a much more positive person and being, but these beings are trying to stop me into becoming that being. You know what? I mean, I don't know. Aren't they going to give up eventually once they say I have no you no I'm not a negative being? They're going to give up eventually, right?
When you overcome them and that you are positive that they can never harm you and that you are living in the light, they cannot do anything against you. They may be around, but they cannot scare you. They cannot touch
I'm not
you.
scared of them.
They cannot do anything. So just let them go and they will have to dissipate eventually.
Can you confirm it is Fenrir? Is that one of them?
He goes by many names, but that's one of them.
Yes. Okay. All right. So if he shows up next time, I'm just going to give him my positive light, maybe bring down my seraphim aspect, and maybe he'll leave and never come back next time.
Absolutely. You must shine the light. Yes.
I will. All right. That's all the questions I had, unless you have a general message for me, and that's it.
Well, the general messages are for everyone.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Blessings.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Wendy has a question. Go ahead, Wendy.
Thank you. Hello, Ra.
Yes.
I recently had a meditation where a bull came and he looked like his face. He was a dark gray, but he also looked like his face was kind of like a puzzle piece or like one of those coloring books where there's a lot of lines and squiggles in them. But his horns were like a long horn. So they were pretty much 90 degrees out from the side of his head and then curved upward like a longhorn. And he said something to me, but I couldn't understand or hear. Well, I couldn't hear what he was saying. Can you assist me with who that was and what this message was?
That was a negative being, and it was not going to give you a good message. Unfortunately, I do not like to report negativity, but that is.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't want that.
But I can see that you overcome it. It was not able to get to you, or you weren't even able to hear what it said, and that is good because you don't want to hear what it said.
Well, that's good to know. And then
his name was I don't even want to speak his name, but he is identified as a negative being. Yes.
Right. And my first thought was that it was a minotaur, and then I'm wondering, because there's a lot of the tension that comes up in my house, I'm wondering if my mother is a portal to these beings that needs to be closed.
Humans can be portals to these things if they want to be, and sometimes inadvertently, if they are very negative, if they stress very definitely negative thoughts and things of this nature, they can create a vortex of negativity. But I do not see that in your mother exactly. I see more that when she's angry, when she's low, it's more about things that have happened to her in the past and not about any kind of vortex or things. But she can affect the energy of the home. She can do that. But I don't see a vortex there.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that.
Okay.
And thank you.
Go ahead. Did you have another question, Wendy, or no?
If I do, I'll save it for later. Thank you.
Okay. Is there any questions in your room? Because I don't have any
questions.
Two questions here.
Perfect.
Come to the mic.
Yes, thank you. Come to the mic. Come to the mic. Okay.
Hi,
Greetings.
I'm wondering who is making the background talking like a when I put on like an AC unit or a loud fan at night when I go to bed?
They're making noise through it? Through the air conditioner or the fan?
Or they know to do it, it seems like they know to do it at that time, I'm not sure.
Okay. These are people that want to disturb your sleep. They don't want you to get a good rest.
Okay,
They want you to be more afraid. They want you to be more tentative. And
okay,
but let me tell you something. Do not be afraid of them. They are not going to harm you. They are not anything too negative. They're just mischievous. And so they are elementals. And they want to just, I don't know why they want to, but they are trying to disturb your sleep. Have they been disturbing it?
yes.
That's what they are there for. And so just don't pay attention to them because they are not harmful. They really are not.
Okay,
They are very hard. They're just trying to make you crazy a little.
okay,
There are elementals that do that.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
No, that's all.
Very good.
Maybe they want something, like she could leave him some flowers or some
I
honey.
think they do want something from her, or they like her energy.
Yeah, leave him
She
some
has
honey
very
water.
good energy, and they probably like that too. They like
Yeah.
being around it.
They want her to play when she's ready to go to sleep.
Yes,
Okay.
you can get rid of
Someone else
them.
had a
Yeah,
question?
I
Someone
will
else
talk to her later.
Okay, thank you. Will.
in your room had a question? And Will, don't go way to the side because it's really hard. Just get right behind him. There you go. Thank you. And that's for everyone else that comes in that room. Thank you.
Right here. I'll put an X on the floor.
Okay.
Here's your mark.
Here's your mark.
Okay. So what I see around, I'm going to describe this pyramid around this house today that I've
Yes,
never seen before. It makes sense now that you're here.
yeah,
Okay. But this is a black pyramid that took with a light on top. Okay. And there's luminescent golden script on each of the sides that took the holy polishing with the holy fire to bring it out. It's important to me, but not to everyone else. How the script came about and which sides were done first and things like that. But the script is important for everyone, and the Black Pyramid is important. What also is interesting is that below the surface, there is a milky white opalescence other pyramid underneath with its own script on
correct.
it.
Mhm.
And they wanted to use the words opalescence. Okay. And it makes sense that you're here, but I don't know what you need to talk about it.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, there's many things to say about it.
Yes. Oh, look.
What? The pyramid, yes. This is what it looks like?
The pyramid, yes,
Yes.
aspect, but it's black.
Okay. More like this one,
Yes.
darker.
Okay.
All right. Yes, this is my ship. My ship is here. That brings many of us to here. It's not that we don't travel by space. That's the only way you could have known about us in the first place. You understand that, right?
Yes. Yes.
All right. So that this is my ship and I am here. And below that, there is another ship, which is my guardianship. But this has the scripts on the side that talks about oneness, that relates to oneness in the universe, not just in your realm, but it relates the oneness to all things, to all entities, to all anomalies, to all energies, because the oneness is an energy. the oneness is a defined energy and a defined way. And as you are part of that energy and way, you transform to some extent into what the symbols speak of: oneness, kindness, compassion, peace, love. You know, these are all things that are necessary for the oneness. And so when you look at our ship and it has these golden symbols on it, it is because that is what we're trying to pronounce. The reason why the ship is black is because it is made of a material that is light and very dense in many senses, but lighter than regular metals, so that it is able to fly better and easier, and doesn't take up as much energy when moving through the space.
Okay, excellent.
Any other questions?
None from me.
Okay, very good.
Yes, there's a question from the YouTube chat. It says, can you speak about emotions, how we can balance or work with our emotions? Does an emotion help us connect? Wait a minute, sorry. I can't read the whole thing. Let me get it.
Emotions are important to decision making, to life, to all things. Let me explain what is. In the mind, there are 2.5 billion neurons. In the heart, there are 60 to 80,000 neurons. These are things that communicate one with another. All right. You need the heart neurons to help with decision making in the head. The emotion that comes from the heart neurons and is expressed through the human. If there were no neurons in the heart area, there would be no emotions. So the emotions in the heart area are all these neurons that are there. You notice there's only 80,000 or 60,000 compared to 2.5 billion in the brain. 2.5 billion neurons in the brain is telling you that this is a control center. This is where all the movement of the hands, the eyes, the feet, the legs, breathing, blood flow, blah, blah, blah. All these things are happening through the brain, but the heart has the emotions, and you must connect to them when making decision. Connect to the heart so that the decision is heartfelt, not just intellectual. Sometimes intellectual decisions can be heartless and be very cold. And so whenever you're making decisions, please use the heart for human decisions, especially. Now, sometimes you have decisions to make about numbers or analogies or things of that nature. The brain and the emotions probably do not attach at that time. But the heart and the brain do attach when making emotions about other people, other thought processes, other life existence things, and you must use it in a very good way so that it is helpful. I think there should be more than 60 or 80,000 neurons in the heart, because I think we need it, but it's moved down in numbers because you are evolving.
Thank you. And then there was a question asking if emotions help you connect with soul guides or energy guides.
Yes, of course. If you want them to connect with soul guides and energies of your being, you can connect emotionally with really anything that you want to connect emotionally with, even a rock. You may find that rock particularly beautiful, and emotionally you're connecting to it because it is giving off that kind of understanding to you that it's a beautiful rock and it wants you to see it that way. So there's many things that you have to understand. You have to understand that you are communicating with everything in the universe.
Okay, perfect. And then there's a question from Tom. in the YouTube chats, just to go there, and then we'll come back to the other questions, is how far is the rebuild of the Egyptian Stargate, and at what time will it be tested?
There are two Stargates that are already usable. That would be the Stonehenge and the Chichen Itza. The ones that are being upgraded right now are several, actually. They're all being upgraded, but the next one to open probably will be Mount Shasta or Pumapunka, or the Egyptian one around the pyramids. There is a one in Göbekli Tepe. There's one up at the big mountain in Tibet. There's one in Hawaii. There's the major ones are all around the earth.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Christine has a question. Go ahead, Christine.
Hello.
Greetings, sorry. I was wondering, you said that the heart neurons have lessened?
Yes, they used to be closer to 100,000. Now they're 60 to 80,000. The advancement of humanity, they're losing their emotional connections to some extent with things, and that is making the neurons less. But I think that they will increase in the future again as evolution moves forward.
Can somebody in the present life, like people who communicate with animals or people who communicate with plants and so on and so forth, aren't they opening up their
Yes,
their channels or the heart chakra?
The plants, trees, and animals have always been opening their chakras and things. That's the way they are. They're just open. They're guarded with caution, but they're not guarded with their beingness. Their beingness is what they are, and they are fully expressing that in this lifetime as they are existing in the ground, in the air, in the trees, on land. Everything is open. It is us that need to open so we can encounter them. It is you that has to open up and encounter them with your freeness, with your love, with your unconditional love for them, and letting them know that they are safe in your presence. You see, they are not feeling safe in the presence of mankind. There's been too much slaughter.
The tree in Hawaii that is has been there for a long time, that got burned down. Is it still alive? Can we send?
It burned down.
It didn't burn down.
Okay. So
it is still alive and will last. No problem.
Okay.
Only the tops of it were singed, basically. The fire didn't get to it in a way that would destroy it.
So going back to our neurons in the heart, by an individual being more aware and opening up more to plants, animals, things around them, people, whatever, can they increase the neuronal?
I know what you're saying. I would say that they would enhance the neurons that are not being used.
Okay.
Not every one of the neurons in the heart is being used, because you as an individual only use certain areas of the heart for decision making. There are many different things in the heart that are not being used that can be used in decision making, because the heart is not just giving emotions. It's giving guidance. It's giving its own thought process about the thing. Neurons are about thought. Neurons are about synapse, about the things of the brain as well. So they also have their own thoughts here in in the heart process. So you can tap into them in a greater way. I believe that's what is needed to be done. You cannot expand them though. They're there and they're not, no more is going to grow at this time, if that's what you're wondering. I don't know. There's just a certain many, and as many as you light up, that's how many there are. So light up as many neurons as you can.
You can unmute Christine if you want.
Yes, sorry, the birds are talkative.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Right. They probably have questions, but I can't answer them right now.
Thank you. All right. Okay, so there's a question now. There's a couple questions in the room. Lena says, Ra, I'm writing an analysis of events about what the collective went through in the last 3 years. Would it be beneficial to share, and in which way should you believe it could help others?
If you're going to share situations and emotions, make sure it has a happy ending. Make sure that it is able to feed the heart, the soul, the mind. Make sure it's able to be a bright light in the world. Otherwise, if you're writing anything dark, I don't think you are, but don't do that. But enlighten the world with what we have been through.
Okay, that's a very good point. Always leave people with hope.
Yes.
Yes, that was all the questions we have in the YouTube chat and in the room.
Yeah,
Is there one that
One
has?
more in the room.
One more in the room here.
Thank you. Please come up close.
Who is it?
Oh. Wasn't sure. Rob, if I could, oh, can you hear? Okay. Hello, here we are.
Come around.
I would physically bow in greeting if I could, but I can't. So in my heart, I bow in greeting to you. And thank you so much for being here.
You are welcome.
And I'm excited to hear about your ship.
Yes.
Thank you. So my questions are about the sun being in solar maximum at the moment.
Yes.
And how long will it last, do you think, or from your experience? And are there any very dangerous gamma rays coming? Are we going to have like the kill shot, so to speak, that's spoken of? That's one part of my question.
No, you're not going to have the kill shot. And the reason for that is because you're protected.
Mm-hmm.
Venus has a shield up that is protecting humans from some of the solar flares. And so they're looking for the places where they feel that greater flares will come from. They can predict that to a certain extent. And so they are protecting humanity from higher source flares. But there has been several days that the flares were large in every direction. And so they couldn't really control all that. But it is that we are not going to get a kill shot from the sun. That is, but the earth is burning up in many ways. So,
which was my next question. I can't explain why, but I am so heartbroken to hear about the fires in Maui, especially Maui. I can't believe it. And where is there some spiritual reason that happened? And that's my first question. And then connected to that, your mission on this earth is what at the moment? And can you take me on your ship, please?
First of all, they are trying to destroy paradise.
Who's they?
Anyone outside of this realm that knows where paradise is.
Mm-hmm.
There are many places that are considered paradises that have been messed with. Puerto Rico, Hawaii, many places in the Mediterranean with earthquakes and things these days. And they're trying to discourage people from seeing the beauty of the planet. And my mission here on Earth is to bring the oneness and the love, the grace, the beauty. Let everyone know that they are accepted. Let everyone know that we are not just intellectual, but we are also heartfelt.
And okay, would you be willing, like I asked Amatak, to give a teaching for Jim about oneness and about the loved one from your, since you created it,
If that is,
from you,
if that is something that they want.
I will ask.
Yes.
Okay, and can I come on your ship, please?
When it is permitted.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. Kat has a question. Go ahead, Kat.
Thank you. I met a person on internet, and her name is Sonia, and she has some sort of a special request. What can you tell me about her?
Can I tell you about her?
No. No.
No?
No,
Her
because
request?
that happened 3 days ago, 4 days ago.
And so what do you want me to answer?
If she is legit, if she or she's just a scam.
How did you feel when you were with her?
I'm not with her. I didn't see her. She says and it's not about friendship or anything else, but she has a special.
Oh, she's one that has written to you that says she has a message for you?
No. No.
But tell
I
me-
don't. Huh?
Go ahead.
I don't want to reveal maybe she's legit in her request. She doesn't ask anything.
Her
And
request is for you or for me?
for me,
Ah,
but I want to know if it's worth.
let me tell you this.
Hmm.
I cannot tell you if she is legit or not, but I want you to use your heart to find out. And the reason why I say that is because you must make your own decisions. I can't make that decision for you whether she's
Yes, I
legit.
know, but I want you to read her energy. That's all I ask.
Her energy is sincere.
Mhm.
Whether she
That's
is
all.
right or wrong, I cannot tell you. That you must
I
decide.
know. I know. I needed to know, how do I start with
She is
this?
sincere, but I do not know if she is right or wrong.
Well, I'll see on
Very
the.
well.
Yeah. That's all I wanted to know. I wanted to know.
All right. That was
You know.
unusual, but I see that. All right.
Yeah. Second, I want to ask you. It's about the black holes. In the science, they say the temperature in a black hole, it's almost absolute zero, which I find it weird, and it makes sense because the particles in a black hole, if there are particles.
Well, there are particles in a black hole because a black hole brings in matter and presses it into very small, tiny little balls. Like a pinhead would weigh 100,000 pounds. So it's compressing energy and matter into very, very small bits. It's also ejecting matter. It's ejecting what is not able to be used anymore or is too close to the exit. So it does shoot out matter as well, and it shoots it out about a quarter, 250 million light years in an hour. So it's very interesting.
Uh-huh. So actually, they have it right. Is it close to zero?
Yes, it is,
Uh-huh.
because nothing. The reason for that is because when it takes in hot matter, it compresses it. It makes it it's cold as space, even colder because it is compressing anything that is heat. So it at times I should say it's absolute zero, and at other times it's not. It does fluctuate because different things and debris that's coming in there, it does fluctuate in temperature.
Interesting.
some black holes are large enough to take in a small sun, and that would change the temperature in the black hole for many hundred years.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. Um, since there's like some sort of a energetic balance, the idea is that, let's say, if you have 100,000 suns and 60,000 black holes, um, since there's an energetic balance, it seems that the energetic, let's say, positive of the suns of the stars are quite the same with the ones of the black holes.
It is similar. Whenever energy can be overwhelming in a black hole as well. If it takes too much in, it can actually implode upon itself and explode outwardly. It will implode in itself first, then it'll explode outwardly. Black holes can do that. Suns can implode and explode outwardly. So you have this fission and fusion going on in the suns, and you have this great friction and great can pressure, so much pressure there that there can be an overload, and the funnel of the black hole can be overwhelmed and implode and then explode.
Well, it looks like there are some sort of portals, suns and black holes. Yeah.
Well, yes, you can. If you were to travel through a black hole, you would be crushed, of course, but you will see that it goes through to another side. What it breaks in on one side and releases on the other.
Wow. That's amazing. Okay. So when you're in a black hole, you can see several destinations, or when you're in a sun, several black holes?
Well, there's not as many black holes as you might think. They are there because of sometimes when a sun implodes, it creates a black hole because it does not, it did not explode properly, and the fission and fusion did not properly work in the way that it normally does, and can create a black hole. So because of how forcefully it imploded. So there's many scientific understandings. That is mine. I do not deal with black holes too much or too often. I stay away from them. We move away from them. The study of them has been done by many other species, and they have many other thought processes and ways to describe black holes. And this way is the way that humans believe that it is, and it is to some extent, but they also see other kinds of black holes. There is not just the one kind.
Do they have a lifetime?
Just like you, they have a lifetime, sometimes billions of years.
Oh.
Okay, thank you so much. Kat, we're gonna move on.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Michelle, do you want to ask your question, or do you want to have me ask? Can you ask? Can you unmute? Michelle?
Sorry, my computer just crashed. Would you believe that? Just as I'm about to ask my question. So sorry about that. Yes. Hi, Ra. Greetings. I have a question about whether or not you have a twin flame on Earth, and if so, is your intention to meet with the spouses in Area 53 when the time comes, if and when? Thank you.
I do. Many people believe that I do have a twin flame on this planet, but I am not going to talk about that because that is not really part of my mission. But I can tell you that, yes, there is someone down there that is part of what I would call my soul in person, but I will not be looking for them. they will be coming to me.
Michelle?
Thank you.
Okay. is that
Yes,
the only-
thank you very much. Yeah.
Great. Is there any other questions in the room for you? Because on this side, we are complete.
None here.
Okay.
Very well, I will move on.
Thank you very much, Rob. Thank you for being here with us. Much blessings to you.
This is Mother Gaia.
Welcome, Mother Gaia.
It is
Welcome.
good to see all of you. My joy is overwhelming that the times are come for change. Although they are not always good changes, they will result in a future good change. So, my love to you, and thank you for being so cautious with me. I see that there are many things out there that I cannot control. Because man has free will and will do what he will with me. But I am changing and moving into my middle life stage. And during that middle life stage, women have felt many different things during that period that are not so pleasant. So that is where I am these days. Just to let you know.
Thank you very much. We do have a question for you, if that's okay.
Oh,
From-
yeah, very good.
Go ahead, boy.
Thank you, Krishna Priya. Hello, Mother Gaia.
Really, really greetings. Hello.
I wanted to ask about childbirth.
Yeah.
When a woman gets pregnant, there is the conception. If you could just talk about that process, from how that conception happens from a spiritual point of view, in terms of the matching of the genome of the child to the father and the mother, and then when that child is born, when that baby is born, what happens before the bum of that baby is spanked, and what's that process there? So just yeah, thank you.
Well, I don't think you should spank a baby when they come out of the womb, because that is trauma. They're already traumatized enough by all that light and no water, and there's just many things to get used to when coming out of the womb. So spanking them is like saying I did something wrong for being born. So no, that's not a good thing. I would prefer a natural water birth or something of that nature.
Yes.
That is much more beautiful, and the child is more peaceful and will have a more peaceful beginning. But the conception of the child, yes, when all is said and done, there is a reason for each child to be born. There is a person coming for that child that has been in a life before, usually. Not always. There are some new lives coming because they have volunteered to come into this realm, to be born to this realm, to help this realm, but they don't realize how harsh it is, and some of them will not be able to adjust. But as this child is being born, they have chosen their parents to some extent to deal with the different things that they need to learn in this process of life, so that they can get closer to God and understand God better through the strife and the understanding and the lessons. Because Only through that can they build the character they need to be who they are truly meant to be and to move forward into a greater light. Some people may disagree with that, but it is true. Now, when that seed, when father's seed meets the mother's egg, then that process is downloaded. Now, there can be soulless children, there can be soulless mankind, but it's rare. Soulless mankind are those that have, the parents have not any thought of bringing forth anything to the world. They do not want a child. They do not believe in souls. They do not believe in God. They do not believe. And so they get what they want because they have free will. You say, wow, how can you have free will to not have a soul? They have willed that that child not have a soul in many ways in their mind because they don't feel they do. They don't feel their soul at work. They don't feel their energy. They don't feel their spirit. They don't feel any pulling of faith or spirit or understanding. So there can be some soulless children, but some people disagree with that, saying, "Oh, all children have a soul." Not necessarily, but it is rare. It is rare, but it can happen. But most of the time, when these meet, they are destined, not destined, that's the wrong word. They do have a destiny that they should reach, but they don't always do that destiny. They have a plan that they come in with, but they don't always keep it. They don't always function the way that they believed from out here that they were going to function when they got here. There is many different diversities in this realm that can cause them to move aside, rethink things, do the wrong thing, be unconditionally harmful to themselves. There, but this world is here to overcome. You must overcome this world. You must know that you are going to be in charge of it, not it be in charge of you. The world comes at you and you're like, I'm fighting it, but just overcome it. I mean, some people don't know how to do that, but it is within you to bring yourself out of any negativity. It is within yourself to bring yourself out of that. So I want you to know that each and every one of you has the power to be greater than you think you are. I've seen the power of mankind. It is amazing when it's used to its fullest potential.
Thank you. Thank you. And when that baby is born,
yes.
There is that moment when the baby seems lifeless.
There is. Because there's mucus in the throat.
Sorry, what did you say?
There's sometimes mucus in the throat from the waters in the inside of you or inside of the mother, and that needs to come out, and then they can breathe.
Naturally, without any assistance.
Correct, but that has to be relieved from the system in order for them to breathe. And so sometimes that happens as they're coming out of the birth canal, but sometimes it doesn't.
So it's not that when it's only after they've come out in seconds that life gets into them.
Yes,
they're already alive. They already got this. They unless they don't have a soul, they already have their soul and spirit. They're already all complete.
Yes, that's already there. Yeah.
Right.
When they come through the birth canal, they are not breathing because they were in the womb with the water, and still when the water broke, they are not breathing yet because they're still in that element, the
system.
Yes, the umbilical fluid or whatever it is. So it is that, I don't know what it's called. Is that ambionic? There it is. I knew I wasn't saying it right. Um, but it is that is there.
Mm.
And so they have to force that out, and then they can breathe.
Yeah, and it's all about intention, the actual conception, whether
Yes.
people
Well,
want to
love,
have children or not. It's all about intention, and the conception of the seed. It's all about intention for all
to some
parties
extent,
concerned.
yes.
Yeah.
But there are those that come together that were just having a good time and have a child, and that child can have a soul because they were not intending anything negative.
Mm.
So it is, you have to understand there is many, many, many ways that things can happen. And
Yes.
that's just some of them. But
Yeah.
all things are possible. And you have to know that is absolutely true. All
Yes.
things are possible. So all things are possible for you too. You can build yourself into the greatest person, or you can let yourself fall. So
Yeah.
do what you want to do with yourself.
Wouldn't you say it's the sperm's intention to find the egg? Has nothing to do with the people's
Nothing to
intention.
do with nothing to do with the intention of what's coming through.
Right. It has everything to do
But
with
the right one,
find the egg.
the right one will find the egg. The right one always does.
Yes,
Well, not always, but most.
people, whether the people intended or not, the sperm has a job.
Yes, and I know that there's many ways to explain it. But for the most part, you know where you're going before you come here.
Hmm.
But you don't remember any of that when you get here because they told you will not remember. The reason is if you came in with your full memory of a past life or many past lives, you could not even think straight. You couldn't live a life with purpose. You would always be living in that other life, always be bringing that other life into the present, and it's not supposed to be there.
Thank you. Thank you for that, Mother Gaia. Thank you, Krishna Priya.
Is there any comments? I think somebody had a correction to make.
Nothing here.
All right.
I did have a question about the soul being born.
We can't hear you.
I'm allowed.
Come over here.
You're not loud enough. Please come over.
Right. Yes, I wasn't going to ask yet until it was okay. So, hello, Mother Gaia.
Hello.
Okay. So, we were talking about souls, right? And coming into the earth. So, I come from the sixth dimension. I came into a physical body. I'm assuming that my soul did not have any earthly karma, but my parents and their ancestors had karma, which I got, even my soul didn't. And I grew up, and then I have to, like you say, we may not like it, but it doesn't make sense that if I came to the earth to give, to do something for the earth later, but I get so damaged by all this karma that when it's time for me to do something, I can't.
Right.
But is that true that the souls who come in to volunteer, they don't have their own karma, but they have to do with Earth's karma?
No, you
And
deal
how
with
do they
your
get
own
over?
karma, always. You have to deal with other people's karma, but you can't let it affect you. You have to live through other people's karma because it's their karma, not yours.
So my parents' karma comes to the infant that has a different soul. is what
Yes,
I'm
but
trying
you don't have to
understand.
live
Well,
your
no.
parents' life. No.
No, but their karma, their ancestral karma comes through or no? That's what I'm trying to understand.
If you wanted to come through, it will, but you have your own karma. And you can bring karma from the past to you in this life. And you are not born with other people's karma necessarily.
No, not born with. I come from the sixth dimension. I know I come from the sixth dimension.
Your parents' karma is your karma. Your ancestral karma is your karma.
Okay, so I'm trying to ask Mother Gaia. Thank you. So I came into this earth from sixth dimension in a physical body. So I guess my question is, and the baby doesn't have karma yet, and my soul doesn't have earthly karma. So the things that happen, are they from the parents' karma that that affect the
No,
child
they are the lessons that you said that you needed to learn in this lifetime.
from 6 dimensions?
Yes, because you did not experience third dimension before.
Mhm,
So you're learning what third dimension is like. You're learning the experiences of
Mhm.
third dimension.
mhm,
You're learning to overcome third dimension because it's a difficult dimension to
Mhm.
overcome.
mhm.
And it is not has nothing to do with anyone else's karma. It has to do with who you are and how you act in this realm. It is that you are your own individual and you put yourself in different places here, even though you may be affected by other people's karma
Mhm.
and listen to it, and that pushes you into a certain place. It
Mhm.
doesn't have to.
Mm.
It does not have to push you anywhere.
Right.
If you become the individual God needs you to be, all the other karmas won't matter.
So when infants and babies are abused,
Yes.
they've chosen that from another coming into this world.
Yes, actually they
Sure.
have, yes.
Ah,
It is something chosen.
that's hard to.
It's hard
Swallow.
to swallow, but it is what they want to experience to be greater
Mhm,
in their ascension, in their understanding, so they can deal with other beings.
mhm,
And they can say, I had this experience.
Mhm.
I had this experience.
Okay.
And I know I learned this from this experience. I had this experience and I've learned this.
Okay, well, I apologize. I probably framed my question in the wrong way to begin with, but thank you so much.
I'm sorry that you
No,
didn't
no,
get
it's
it.
good. No, I got it. And I just framed my question incorrectly, but now I got it. Thank you so much.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
There's a question from Temple.
Yes.
Oh, actually, we'll do Temple and then Tom. Temple's question is it true that a family or a family line can be cursed? If that is the case, how would they know or go about fixing or healing it?
A family line can be cursed. It can be because there are those negative beings that can do that. But you can be free of that curse in this life by just following the positive. Now, you may be in touch with that curse through past life readings or something of that nature, but you can still overcome anything from the past in the present. This is something that humans believe they can't do. They can't overcome easily anything that is really negative. But that is why you're here. The earth is a very difficult place to live, and you are here to learn from it. You are here to experiment with it. You are here to experience it. You are here to love it and hate it, if that's the case. And these things teach. These are teaching moments. All these things teach something. If you learn the lesson, you'll say, now, what did that have to do with anything? But if you stop and think, there's always a lesson behind it. There's always something you can improve yourself by getting through it. There's always something you can do to be greater. And you can use these experiences as stepping stones to greatness.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Temple was saying that she's asking for close family friends, but I think that
Oh,
is.
yes. Close family friends. Yes, they can have bad pasts, but let them know there is ways to overcome that and get rid of it. There is always hope. There is always a way.
Through positivity. Perfect. Thank
Yes,
you.
absolutely. Always a
Yeah.
way, always a way.
Tom says, what is the best way to help souls that are trapped in the astral, entities we perceived as so-called ghosts?
Yes, many of them are very, very afraid. They're afraid that they have done something wrong in their life and they don't want to go to the light because they think or don't want to go through that tunnel into the light because they think it's a trick, that they're going to go into this light and it's going to be horrible and blah, 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 because they don't know what the light is there for. But the light is there for them to come through. It is all positive. It is all beautiful. You are not going to be harmed by going through to the light. You are going to be helped by going through to the light. They are afraid of the light because they think it's where they get punished, where they get judged, where they're gonna have to live something horrible. But first, they must enjoy the celebration of them coming into the great place of light, that great place of God, that great place of energy. So that would be the first thing. They should not be afraid of it. But there are other kinds of ghosts, though, that want to be here, that don't want to go anywhere. They want to stay here and do whatever they want to do in this ghostly realm. And that they stay there for hundreds of years before they decide to leave. But it is, to me, very unusual. They are usually people that have mental problems, usually people that are too associated with beings that are still on the earth. They cannot let them go. They cannot be without them. And so they stay in that area near them. Or they have something that they think they're guarding, treasures that they had before, and they don't want anyone to have them because they're still aware of them. So it is a strange place to be. Oh dear.
Just to go back to what Temple was saying, she was saying that her family's really struggling. And do you have any recommendations of something they can do very practically? Positivity is great, but how would they apply that?
They can pray together.
Okay.
They can pray together and create a power where 2 or 3 are gathered together. That is a very true statement. Energies bonded together can have great effect. If they pray together, if they are together and wish for good and positivity together, how can it not happen? The humans have the energy to do this. They have the energy to provide a greater awareness for themselves and for others. So pray together, be together, enlighten one another, help each other with your moods, help each other with your thought processes. If you are all separated one from another, you're all going to go into a funk, into this, it's not going to ever work. But if you come together as one energy, then that can disperse negativity very quickly.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that. I see someone next to you, I believe, has a question. Let me go ahead. Turn that over.
Oh, yes. Hello.
Hello. So there are many substances that the spiritual circles call medicine, such as ayahuasca or mushrooms or different substances.
Yes.
So, but one substance that is also looked upon as helping with depression is ketamine. How does that help? How does that vibration of ketamine help with depression?
Well, that's not a psychedelic, that's a psychotrope.
Uh-oh.
Hello?
Hello?
That's not a psychedelic, it's a psychotrope. A psychotrope is used to remove negative feelings and uplift it, bring more serotonin into the system and release more positive chemicals into the system. Okay. Whereas a psychedelic is there to bring out thought processes and things that may not be of this world or realm. Whereas a psychotrope is used for medical conditions.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
It is something that is many people use as their way of keeping up. They use these medications daily to become better. And it does affect the mind, but not in a psychedelic way.
Okay.
It affects the mind, or it shouldn't anyway, if you take the right dosage. It should just bring up the spirit, release more positive chemicals that are in the brain, and make you more aware of the positivity and things within you. So it takes you out of that low feeling and brings you into a little higher feeling because of the chemical release.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? No more
Yeah, there's
questions?
Sorry, Angie.
Yeah, I was gonna say, there's no more questions here.
Thank you. There's a question from the YouTube chat from Swazi. She says, first, love you. She's sending love. And she's, how can I talk to someone and give them love if they're no longer in my life? She's speaking of her son that left this world 3 years ago.
You can still talk to them. You can still love them. They can still communicate in a way that is beautiful with you because you are attached to them. They are attached to you, and they never will be unattached because you will travel in soul families and he is part of yours. And you will once again meet in another time, another place. And he is connected to you and loves you dearly, and you love him dearly. And I know that what happened was unfortunate, but it is that you are still connected. I see him with you.
Thank you. Perfect. Those are the only questions we have in this room,
All
the
right.
YouTube, your room for you. But thank you, Mother
All
Gaia.
right, I will go for now. This is Nikola Tesla.
Welcome.
I prefer, I know Nikola sounds very feminine, and when I'm on the English place, I will like Nikolai. It's more masculine, but my name is really Nikola.
Perfect. So there was someone in your room that had the question for you. Who was that?
Someone out here.
Yes.
Can you come forward, please? Thank you. And then followed by someone else with a question.
Hello, Hucolo.
Great.
Pleasure to meet you.
It is a pleasure.
I've done some reading of your work.
Thank
and
you.
Speak up, please.
Oh,
Thank you.
Yes, I've done some reading of your work and I'm very impressed and actually follow some of your ideas.
yes.
I guess I don't really have a question so much as want to know more the I have this feeling that this plane that we exist in
Yes.
is based on duality.
It is.
And so that what allows for this duality to occur, in my estimation, would be some event that may have taken place in the past. You know, some people refer to it as the Big Bang or something like that, but I think it was more of an act of will that set this all in motion, and
Yes.
that this duality is all encompassing, and that it needs to, that it's always trying to achieve balance.
Correct.
Can you maybe explain how this occurred and how best to understand and accept that the duality is both positive and negative, and
Yes.
is really part of this whole creation destruction mechanism?
Yes. From the very beginning, there was positivity and negativity. I believe that because even though God set out creation in a very positive way, his creation became negative to balance out all that there is in the universe. But there was a negativity to begin with. He started in the darkness and created light. Does that make sense to you? Because he was actually an unthinking and caring being at one point, because he wasn't sure what he was. He was energy. That's all he was. And then he started to understand that he had sentience, consciousness, and that he could create. And the energy that he was a creative energy made from many kinds of energies, and he started his work. But duality has always been here as balance, because he wants to make sure that you see the right and the wrong, and that you do what's right because the wrong has shown you what it really is. I should say he wants you to be positive because the negative has shown its face, and you don't want to be like that. You want to be like this, unless you do want to be like that. But there is always duality. You have a choice. You have a choice to be good or bad. You have a choice to be positive or negative. You have a choice. You yourself are following your own free will. You are doing what you need to do at this point in your life, and the balance is there. You don't always do what's right. There is not always good within you. When you were born, some people say there was negativity in you when you were born. Well, if you are all of what God is, then yes, there will be something there that can cause negativity, because it is able to happen in humanity. It is able to happen in other species. It is able to happen everywhere. The universe is in balance with duality. But one day, there will be a change, and only light will exist for a while. And that will be the full balance, because you won't need duality if everything is light. Does that make sense? But it's not going to happen yet. And you must understand what the negativity is. You must understand how to overcome the negativity. You must then understand this balance right now and how it affects each and every one of you, because you are all dualistic and you all have your areas that you need work in and are. But if you're balanced with your thought processes in the light, and you're balanced with your thought processes in the negative, meaning that they're under control, then you're in full balance and in alignment. But remember, it's easy to get out of balance. Alcoholism is a disease, and it has a 12-step program. And if you stay out of it for a while, you can maybe free yourself from it completely. But if you make one wrong step, you can be back into it just like that. That is the way of negativity. It's sort of addictive in some ways. It draws you toward it. It makes you think about it. It wants you to be this way. But if you have that under control and your light is shining, then you don't have to worry about that negativity which is in you, because you have it all controlled. It's where it should be. You have it taken away, or it is just not working the way it wants to work in you. You are using a more positive frame of reference. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, it's showing a whole lot of light on it, that's for sure.
Is there any other follow-up question?
Well,
I knew there was.
of course. The whole idea of frequencies, of course.
Yes.
That's very much the work that you were involved in.
Oh, yeah.
It's fascinating, and that, you know, what we're actually through medications, pharmaceuticals, and
Yes.
Energy work and things like that, we're impacting frequencies. And there's a relatively new technology. It's not actually new, but it's based on your work. It's called the EE system.
Yes.
And you may be aware of this.
I am aware that the scalar wave generator is part of that.
Yes,
and that is something that I have invented.
And so we're actually, I think we're probably going to be in the envelope of one that's being set up here probably in September.
Yes.
It's very hard to hear you, please.
Oh, okay, sorry. So we're in an envelope of a EE system installation that's going in here, not very far away from here. And I'm very interested in this, of course, because I've actually experienced the system. And I'm very interested to understand the concept of the scalar being outside of our perceptive range. And that the perceptive range is a very small sliver of our experience of the spectrum of light and energy. So what is the medium that the scalar wave actually exists in, if it's not frequency the way we think of? I know there's like
it can be adjusted. So yes, there's all different kinds of frequencies in the scalar wave program. And so it can be adjusted for the higher portions of the thought process. It could be with the abdominal area, and even lower to the feet or ankles or whatever. The waves can be adjusted because each part of the body reacts differently. If you're working with the brain, there's certain frequencies that work very well with the brain, and there's certain frequencies that work very well with the body. So you have to adjust it so that you know which frequencies are working best. And scalar wave energies, the EES system has that adjustment. Most of them are set for the middle body. But if you would set them for the higher portion, you could cure blindness and cataracts, things of this nature. But most of them have it set toward the body.
Okay.
So, and it helps more of the internal organs, the liver, the stomach, the spleen, the kidneys.
Okay. So they need to be adjusted specifically for the area you want to impact.
Correct.
Okay. I didn't realize this. All right, that's very interesting. And also, so that's the physical aspect.
Correct.
What is the psychic or other than physical aspect that it actually impacts? And what, it's hard for me to, I think of matter and light, all things that we can perceive through our five senses.
Yes.
But this is of course outside of that, maybe also including the five senses.
Correct.
The regular spectrum of light. But what is the medium that actually transcends all of that?
Meaning the frequency, that is what transcends everything. The frequencies are actually empowered to work with the brain in a different way than most frequencies. You see, you encounter many different frequencies. The 5G, the 3G, the microwaves in the air, the things of that nature. This shuts out all these waves, protects you from them, and gives the brain positive results in trying to grow and formulate. So when you leave an EES system, you are feeling refreshed in many ways because your brain is now cleared. It is putting the frequencies that are necessary for the brain to move forward. But like I said, some of it might be centered on the middle part of the body. That doesn't mean that there's many different waves working within it. It's just more set to this area.
Okay. All
right. So the frequency is happening. The frequency is what touches on these areas of the brain that are unopened, that are needing attention, that need the neurons to spark, or the things to happen there. Synapse in the brain where it's not been happening before, or very light. It increases the energy of the brain, increases the synapse of the brain, so the brain can react to the body in a healthier way.
Okay.
It's all about reacting with the brain to the body, and all the energies that are working there are reacting to the body in the way they need to, because the body's made up of all these energies. Like in the DNA, they go, oh, there's this energy and this energy and that energy, but there's all energies in the DNA because God created the soul with all energies. So in the DNA, all energies exist, and this feeds on the energies in the body, makes the body feel better because it enhances them in a different way.
Okay. Well,
Okay, thank you. I have to interrupt because we're running out of time and we still have a few more questions. So
Okay,
we usually limit the questions to 2 per person, so
I'm
do
good. Thank you. Thank you.
step
Thank you
back.
very much.
Okay, thank you. Sheer has a question. Go ahead, Sheer.
Greetings, Nikolai.
greetings.
First of all, I will start with saying that you're an amazing individual. Thank you for everything that you have done here and everything that you're keeping on doing.
Well, thank you. I think there are many amazing individuals here, including yourself.
Thank you. Actually, I would like to hear your thoughts about the future and how you see our technology evolving, or what is the next step in our technology,
All right.
and what will be a positive step in your opinion.
It can, in your technology, it can be a positive step or a negative step, but AI is your next area. You are heading into an era of AI where everything is going to be done by artificial intelligence. It's simpler, it's cheaper, it's more whatever. But there are going to be some places where the technology is going to be a little too high, and there's going to be some sentient machinery. And these sentient machinery are cold and unemotional. So if they are not taught to be emotional and understanding and good and kind and all these things, then they can be very devastating. But I see that in this time coming, that AI will be very, very aware of everything that's going on. Do not worry. You have nothing to fear from it in that sense. It's not really collecting data on each individual that is going to be used against you. It will collect all your data, but there's billions of people in the world. How is it going to use that against you individually, unless you're somebody that they think is going to be harmful? And I don't think any of you are going to be harmful. So, but the next stage also is energetic staging. Many energy systems will come into being. Many medical miracles with technology will come into being. Many things will change in the later future about energy. Energy must be controlled better in this realm. Energy must stop being a source of destruction to the atmosphere, and they must bring that into control. So they must have more electromagnetic thought processes. They must have more electrical thought processes. I don't think nuclear processes are necessarily necessary, because if you learn how to control the energies of the planet and within you, you are able to control everything everywhere. Does that make sense to you? Because as the mind is going to get greater, the consciousness is going to grow. You're going to have teachers that are teaching you how to use consciousness levels that were never used before, like they were used in the antediluvian era. And so, is that the right word?
Atlantean.
No, you're correct. Before the flood.
Before the flood, yes. And so many things are going to come forth that were part of the past, but were great miracles that you didn't even know the past had in the Atlantean area, in the antediluvian periods. And so it is that the many things here will change, and it is changing now. And I see your weather getting worse, and I see more catastrophe as Mother Earth settles in, and there'll be more volcanoes and more earthquakes, and the axis is off, and so the equator is off. So we see many things that will change the weather and change the way things are done. And in this period, mankind must be aware of all the solutions. And many of the things that I have created are solutions for the future. And they must look at my work and must see it as it really is. It's not about destruction, it's about control. Any more questions?
We do have a question. I just want to make sure she was done. Michelle has a question. This will be the last question.
Greetings, Nikolai. Thank you for being here.
Yes.
I was curious as to whether or not we have the technology right now where AI becomes part of us and our minds can fly cars and ships, etc. Are
That
we
is
like
already
living?
that has already been experimented with and is already part of your society in small ways. But the beings that are these beings that have this technology within them, you would never know the difference because they're more in the upper realms of society, more into the governmental areas, things of that nature. Those are the ones that wanted to experiment with this. They didn't want to use just a regular human because they did at first use regular humans, but they stopped that and started to using more higher functioning beings because they saw what a higher functioning being could become, whereas a normal person could only become a little greater. A higher functioning person can become a lot greater. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it does. But I guess my question is, do you see that technology rolling out to the general public, within 20 years or 10 years?
Oh yeah, so AI will be everywhere.
So we're just on the cusp of that.
We're just on the cusp of that. Right now, there's a great rush to be in AI. There are many companies turning to AI, many stores turning their businesses over to AI and having only check yourself out shopping, no cashiers. Many stores, 95% have tested it. 95% of all chains have tested AI.
Thank you very much. That's interesting. Thank you, and thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you. We've come to the end of the webinar. We're out of time, but thank you so much for being here. Please come back. It's always interesting to talk with you. And I want to send you so much love. Thank you for everyone in YouTube chat and also in your room and our room.
I hope I didn't speak over anyone's head. I was trying to be very layman. So hopefully I was.
Yes.
Greetings. I will go now. Hello?
Hello, welcome back.
Hi.
We had a lot of beings here, so that was
Oh,
wonderful.
wow. Okay, good.
Yeah. We have Angie to do announcements, and then we'll end with a blessing if we can.
I'm a little bit more this one, yeah.
We have the gathering scheduled for next year, August 8th through August 12th, 2024, $6.95 a person. It's a gathering of oneness, a little bit of teaching, but starseed, know who your starseed family is. It is all-inclusive. And if you're interested, classes at hucolo.org. You can also find the link for the registration form on the Hucolo website, as well as the Hucolo main page.
And we're working on getting special guests, and we'll announce those when they happen.
Perfect. And Jim, would you do the blessing going out? I think that would be the best.
Sure.
We don't get enough blessings from you. You being here is a blessing, but you know what I'm saying.
Oh, thank you. You're sweet. Toria, Ariata Shanzi Vietando, Adonai Poriata Shandovodu, Lietiti, Shushi Branda Atoada, Lecariavando. Perclito Sajaji, Almodo Idea Maun Ichi, Shushon Bohota, Quatatiata, Umukosh. May God be with you in all of these ways and all of these means. May He put on you a special energy of love, a special energy of movement of joy, of comfort, of peace. May he put on you the yoke of your mission so that you may move forward in a very positive way, understanding that you are part of the change that is happening. You are part of the world that is moving forward. Love and beauty to all of you. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. And thank you to everyone. Next week, we will have Susan and Wendy discussing and taking questions about the trip that they took to Ireland and all of the downloads and information they received there, and sharing all about what they've channeled and bringing in all kinds of new energy. So that'll be very exciting. And then in 2 weeks, we have you back again. So
yes,
looks like a good rest of the month. All right.
Excellent.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well,
Thank you to everyone. Thank you to everyone in the YouTube chat and to
thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
And
See you next time.
we're going to sign off and see if anybody wants to go to lunch, because it is already 1 o'clock.
All right.
Okay.
It's
Have a
nice
great
to
day.
see your room. So, all right. Have a great day. Bye bye.
Yeah, I like my room.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everyone in YouTube land.